Next up is a very simple error that we usually cover in a lot of my coin videos, so if you haven't seen any of my coin videos, be sure to go check them out on my channel. This is a 1968 Lincoln cent. Now this penny is 20% off center, and that's why it's sold for over $80. Next up is a 1968 Denver minted Lincoln cent. Now this penny has a 35% curved clip. So you might come across something like this and think that someone maybe damaged a penny by cutting it or whatever. However, it is a mint error, and that gives it a little bit of value. And that's why this coin sold for over $50. Moving on to a 1968 D Denver minted Lincoln cent. Now this penny has a double die reverse, meaning that there is doubling taking place on the back of the coin. Here's just an example of what to look for on the back of the 1968 D, where there is doubling visible on the back of that coin. So you can see the doubling taking place on the E and even the top of the T there. And if you look at the bottom and look on the A of America, you can see that doubling taking place there as well. Like I always say, get a cheap little USB coin microscope and you guys will be able to find these types of errors. Now this coin here sold for over $250. Next up is a 1968 D Denver minted Lincoln cent. Now it is a RPM. So what that means is that it has a repunched mint mark. Here's an example of what a repunched mint mark looks like on the 1968 D Lincoln cent. And that's why this penny here sold for over $90. Moving on to another 1968 penny. This has been double struck, and you can see that error taking place on the bottom of the coin. Very obvious error here. And this penny here sold for over $60. Next up is a very interesting part of a coin, I guess you could say, a fragment. That's what this is, a 1968 Lincoln cent. That's actually a detached fragment. So I figured I would just throw this in here just because it's interesting. Obviously, you're not going to find something like this in a coin roll, or I would say that I'm comfortable with saying 99.9% of the time you're not going to find something like this, but hey, you never know. This thing sold for over $275. And just to show you an example of what a 1968 high-graded Lincoln cent would sell for, this one here sold for over $1,800. Next up is a 1968 Lincoln cent that was actually struck on a Canadian 10-cent planchet. So a 1968 penny struck on a Canadian 10-cent coin. And that's why this coin here sold for over $400. Here's a similar coin. It's a 1968 Lincoln cent that was actually struck on a US 10-cent planchet. So the 1968 penny is struck on a United States dime, and that's why this coin sold for over $215. Moving on to another high-graded coin. This is a 1968 San Francisco mint. So it is the S mint mark there, and it is a high-graded coin, 1968 Lincoln cent that sold for over $3,900. Next up is a cool coin. This is a 1968 that was struck on a clad 10-cent planchet. So like the other pennies that I show you guys sometimes, struck on a dime, a 10-cent planchet. Very cool. I would like to have something like this in my collection. And this coin here sold for over $490. So until tomorrow, I will see you all in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.